was sobering up, like detoxing, I was like, who the heck is this chick? Why is she crying? And I was like, ugh, gross. And I did not like me. I was like, I hate this chick. After I started figuring out who I was and like being sober Shannon, I was like, dang, I like this chick. Yeah, there's less pressure. I feel like a movie now. Like, you know, when you watch a movie and all the families all like crazy at the beginning and they're like, I hate you and you suck. And then everybody's happy at the end. I didn't think that was real, but it feels real.
That's awesome.
It feels like we talk a lot and I don't know, we're just there for each other. And she talks to me about her stuff too, like if she had a crappy day at work. Oh, I had a crappy day at work, and this happened, and I feel like this. And I don't know. You have to talk to them as well. Because if my mom didn't talk to me, I wouldn't want to talk to her. I don't think I did have really close friends. I had addicts as friends, and they aren't friends. And I think that if I was to go back there into the same environment, I mean, I've had thoughts like, I just want to get fucked up, and I hate this, and I want to do drugs, and this sucks, and I'm going to run away, and I'm never going to come back. And if I was there, I think that I would have relapsed. So I think being there, just seeing like my room and like places, old playgrounds and old playmates, it's just, it feels good to see them. And that's bad. Like you're like, oh, I remember that good stuff. Like when I didn't have to feel this. And when I got out of rehab, I was really vulnerable and really like, I felt like I was very emotional. And I think that if I would have gone back and had the same emotions that I had here and gone back, I would have not done as well. I think it's possible to do well, but I think it's much harder. Yeah, so I was here for 6 months. And my 4 and 5 months was really hard because I started to get to it moved on past like what's the root of your addiction and all of that. It's more like, what have I done? You start to look back and you're starting to realize like, I screwed up. And I think that that's super hard. And I think that I was mad at my family the most then. Because I was like, I felt like they weren't changing, even though they were. It just didn't feel like it, and I was scared that they weren't going to be changed, and I was going to go home, and I was going to mess up, and it was going to be the same, and I didn't want to go back to that. And then they started reassuring me, like, it's going to be different. If this happens, you know, we might do this, and it was hard to be in the crazy when I was so ready to be done with being crazy, because I'd been like that for 3 years. And I was so over it. And it's scary to have that change. Yeah. I don't know if, can I ask, is she sexually assaulted? Yeah. I think that finding good coping skills really helped me. But also, my mom had been through the same thing. And being able to talk to her really helped. So, I think finding someone you can talk to is really helpful. And I think it should be a female figure, like a mom or a grandma, someone who you love a lot. And it's hard to say, you know, I was raped, because you feel like it's your fault. But it goes away. It does get better. And realizing that it wasn't your fault. And being able to say that, you know, this happened, but I'm okay now. Be able to like, I don't know, I like to say I'm a badass a lot. I say it to myself. I'm like, I'm such a badass.
You are.
Thank you. And being able to talk about it. And I hated when people were like, I used to feel gross about it a lot, and I would say, I feel so gross. And people saying, you're not gross. I hated that. I hated someone who hadn't known what I've been through to say something like that. Even if they didn't know what I've been through, like, I feel gross. And you can, when I do talk to my mom about it, she doesn't say. She just listens. And I appreciate that. And after I do have a night terror or a flashback, I do something like wash my hands or brush my teeth or take a shower. And like, I feel refreshed, and that's, I don't know if that's something that she would like to try, but I find that helpful. I think for any of your kids, good coping skills really help, and like having someone to talk to, and they're not going to want to talk to you in the beginning. They're going to reject you if you do try to talk to them. But being able to just listen when they do try to talk to you is a good thing. Don't push them to talk to you. My mom tried to push me, like, talk to me about what's wrong, I want to help you. Like, that's great, thank you. But, like, if I want to talk to you, I really will try. And I think a hard part for my mom and my dad was seeing me talk to other people and not them. I think that they wanted that, to know what was wrong so that they could help me. All of you want that. But, you know, sometimes it's hard to tell you what's wrong. And for me, it's not because I don't want your help. It's because I don't want to hurt you. I don't want you to see that I'm hurting, because I know that'll hurt my parents. So, like, the surface. Like, I've been through some traumatic experiences, which led me to use substances, which then led me to rehab, but I'm better now. And I think once they accept that, and then they kind of run with it, you start to open up about more things. Like, when I was doing drugs, I felt like this, and I don't want to feel like that again. And like, I feel like I'm going to relapse, but I don't want to. And so, like, having that friend to talk to first is really good. And I know one of my former rehab friends talked to a female counselor at the school, and that helped her. And so just finding someone, it doesn't have to be a student, it doesn't have to be, you know, a teacher, it could be an uncle, it could be someone at work. So, and then as I started opening up to other people, I could open up more to my family, because it felt more normal. And when we do groups here, it's making opening up feel normal, because it wasn't normal before. Crying. It's a lot of crying. I don't know, probably, I hate to say this, but probably my family. Just seeing that they were willing to change for me really grew that love that they had for me. I was able to see that they did love me, because I used to think that they didn't. That they loved me, but they didn't. That they wanted to punish me, and they didn't want me to have any freedom. And it's really hard for kids to see that you have their best interests, because it doesn't feel like that. You know, you were kids. And they came down for Parents' Weekend, and I was crying on the floor of my room, and my mom had come in, and she said, "What do you want from me?" And I said, "I just want you to hold me." And I just cried there with my mom. And being vulnerable with my parents helped. So I think it's really hard to be vulnerable, but my parents were the ones that started being vulnerable first in family therapy. And I think if you're willing to be vulnerable, they're going to show you that as well. And talk about things that you've been through, struggles. It helps to know that you're not perfect. Sometimes you guys seem perfect. Even talking about, like, when I was in college, my mom told me this. She said when I was in college, I flunked out one year and had to go back. And it was a shame to know that she wasn't perfect. And my dad talking about, my dad was abused, and talking about his dad abusing him helped me. want to be vulnerable with them. Because I showed that they trusted me to be vulnerable. I don't know, it really all helped me. I can't think of something negative, honestly. I want to, I'm trying to. I mean, I can, but I can see how it benefited me. There's a lot of things that suck.
Like what? What's going to suck for their kids?
Group therapy, everybody sees you cry. And that sucks when you're just crying there. But you get used to it after a while, because then you see them cry and you're like, psst, you're crying, but you're not tough. So, and DXing sucked, and getting along with people sucked. But I know even the people I didn't get along with necessarily, I still appreciate. There's a couple times I'd gone to the hospital from using, and one of the times that I can kind of recall was the time my sister had found me pretty intoxicated. She didn't know what was wrong with me, and I didn't really remember that experience, but it was brought to my attention in a family therapy, like, look at how you're affecting your sister, look at how you're affecting us. And I think that's when I was like, I don't want to do this anymore. Because even though we do hurt you guys, we don't want to. Even though we try to. Because I know that I tried to hurt my mom. I was like, I'm going to hurt you like you hurt me, but it's going to be 10 times worse. And I think that looking back on my sister, because I do love my sister, I think that it was really hard to see how I affected her. See how she had seen me like that person that I didn't even know, because I didn't even remember that. And, you know, thinking, I don't want to be like that for the rest of my life. I don't want to be 17 and pregnant and then my child see me using heroin. I want to be a good mom and I want to be successful. And that's really what I wanted since I was a kid. I didn't say, when I grow up I want to be a drug addict. That's not something we say. I had like dreams when I was 8 that I wanted to be a lawyer. I don't want to be a lawyer. But I wanted to be a lawyer and I wanted to be successful and I wanted to be this badass woman that like raised like 2 kids and was like cool, and I wanted to live in a nice house in a neighborhood where I went to barbecues, and I saw myself losing that. I remember I always used to say 8-year-old me would hate me, and she'd be like, Mommy, who is that girl and what's wrong with her? And well, my therapist had me write a letter to 8-year-old. And, you know, it was hard to say, I'm sorry. Because I was sorry to myself. That I had put myself through such crap.